I would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.
This episode of Noonish is brought to you by Ethos MetaFest. Come EMF with us August 12th and 13th. Home Vita Mattress Outlet. Go to the website below, enter code Noonish10 for 10% off your next purchase. Hello. Welcome to a very fun show that we're about to have. You know us. We know y'all. We don't know y'all. Matter of fact, where y'all at? I'm your host, J.A., a.k.a. Jonathan Anderson, man. Welcome to Noonish Sports and Tech. Got a very fun show ready for you today, man. A lot to talk about. Back with us this week in El Grande's Typical Saddle, we have Uncle Ron, coming to bring the pain. I hear I've been taking L's. I didn't realize I was taking L's to Unc, you know what I'm saying? I know he's got great points, but I think I bring some too, but I'm going to keep battling, I got a long way to go, but we have a very special guest this week in the building, man. Super excited to have her back on the show in season 7, man. She came here, toured up last time. She's been around the world and back again. She's the most knowledgeable in sports around that I know of. Man, welcome back, CY, Miss Christiana YEBRA. What's up?
I'm happy to be here. And most knowledgeable in sports, I know it's not true, but I'll take it. For today,
man,
at least.
Hey, I'm trying to pump you up, But hey, you do know quite a bit,
I've listened a lot. I learned a lot from your show. I watched last episode, and that was fun. I was in New York while I was watching that, so that was cool. Nice. And I'm back. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Thanks for the shout out from last week.
Absolutely, man. I shouted you out before, in venue, y'all go pretty hard, and I've been seeing y'all more and more. Friday nights, y'all have taken over MLB, right?
Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV.
Yeah,
that's one of the coolest things I think I'll ever say is to be able to get to put that logo on my website, an Apple TV logo, and MLB. It's been really cool.
So in venue, man, let's talk about it right now. So have y'all expanded? What's going on with the business?
Man, I think it's literally almost a year since we were together last, and. Since then, so if you didn't hear the last episode, in Venue, I'm the CMO of Venue. We are a micro betting platform built for live sports. So our technology takes historical data, which is there's plenty of in sports, right? And then live data from the field, the court, the racetrack. We run machine learning and AI on it. AI is very buzzy, so we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But it's who we are. We run predictive models on it, and we can predict with a really solid level of accuracy what's going to happen next. So in baseball, something we're doing with Friday Night Baseball is an at-bat probability. So when the guys go up to plate, we run very quickly, in literally a blink of an eye, the likelihood of a home run, the likelihood of an out, the likelihood of an RBI in real time. And we put those numbers on screen, which is both terrifying and exciting to have them live on screen. So we signed season 2, so you can see us there this Friday for our season 2 of Apple TV, Friday Night Baseball.
That's awesome.
We have
Congrats.
thank you so much. It's been really cool. I'm a huge baseball fan, so to produce with the MLB when I've been watching baseball my whole life and to understand the back end is wild, and to be a part of the broadcast is really cool. So since then we've launched NFL. So we've got MLB, NFL. We just, in this last year, signed a deal with the NBA to create micro markets for NBA fans with the league, which is kind of an unheard of type of deal. We were selected to be part of the NBA Launchpad program, which is kind of like a league accelerator.
Yeah, I gotta stop you real quick. So
sorry, slow it down.
Yeah, so bringing it back, this NBA deal is freaking huge, right?
Huge, yeah.
It's huge. I mean, that's probably one of the most popular sports in America right now. They just do a great job of marketing their players.
They kill it.
Right? So when you're explaining the micro market package, explain that to me. Like what? I'm not in the business. Yeah. Right? Kind of. But
here in Texas we can't bet legally, right? So that's kind of challenging. We can see, probabilities are it's the same type of content. There's the betting probabilities are packaged on screen for Friday Night Baseball. They don't want our betting content on screen. But what we can also do is turn those things into odds and price them as well. So what a micro bet is so much different than what's out there and what exists. So typically, traditional markets are betting on who's going to win the game, right? Yeah. And people put a ton of money on who's going to be the leader or the outcome of the game. In-game betting is a different type of betting where you and I could bet on the middle of a Rangers game.
Yeah.
Or who's going to shoot the next, or who's going to get the next free throw, or are they going to make it or not? So these markets don't matter. They don't depend on who's going to win the game, or the end of the game doesn't have to happen in order for these things to be resolved. So it's those next play type of bets. We call them micro bets. People sometimes think that means like small amount of money. I think people can still bet a lot of money on micros, but they're these micro moments, so cadences of smaller increments than like the full game.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect for the NBA fan because the NBA fan's younger.
Yep.
And I think they're more innovative. They're also the ones who are watching House of Highlights. They're the Twitter generation. They're probably not watching the whole game anymore.
Yeah.
They're probably waiting for those big moments,
Yep.
Those buzzer beaters. So with the NBA being able to do bets on the next free throw, the next to 15, or these smaller markets in between these games, I think is going to lead to some cool, obviously innovation on the betting side, but the fan engagement is going to be killer. Like I love the idea of, I don't know what your style is of watching basketball, but I'm like all in on first quarter. Second quarter, depending on where we're at, I'm like, well, maybe I could get my food right now, or I'll take a break, Twitter break, catch up on my TikToks.
Yep.
Then third quarter, I'm like, okay, where are we at? What's going on? And if it's a big game with the teams I care about, like I'm all in on the fourth quarter.
So can I tell you my style?
I want to hear your watching philosophy.
The first quarter, I'm like, for the first few minutes, I'm just trying to understand the flow of the game.
Yep.
And then I might disappear. I might not come back. I do like to see up until like the last couple minutes of the first half, depending on the score. If it's a blowout, not necessarily. But even if it is a blowout, I want to see if the other team is going to make a push to close the gap, maybe to 10 points or whatnot. Third quarter, not so much, but the beginning of the fourth, I'm all in on the NBA game. How do you watch the NBA games, bro?
Pretty much the same. The effort level of the athletes make it difficult for me to watch the whole game.
Yeah.
So I'll see how the game start, check in around halftime.
Yeah.
Then come back for an NBA game for the last 8 minutes.
Yeah. For the last 8 minutes, period.
Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And see who wins, because most of the game is really not worth watching. I mean, I don't mean, because that's why.
What you just described is exactly why the in-game micro markets, like I think, are going to be an opportunity, no pun intended, but a game changer.
Yeah.
In that, like, the NBA recognizes that their fans are all different. So being able to line up directly, we're a tech startup, like we're still pretty young. I mean, we're less than 5 years old. To align with the league. The league knows their fans better than anybody. This league specifically, NBA. So what we just described, like our tech is going to allow for, when it's legal in Texas, but in places where it is legal, for the NBA fan to bet kind of the way they watch. And if there's opportunities to drive more engagement, to get you back before that, before the third quarter ends, it's an opportunity. Like maybe we learn more about what players you like and which teams you like, or maybe one of your players is headed towards a record. Like if I can ask if you want to bet on, is he going to make this free throw? I know your favorite players, and we'll find out later. But like, can I drive you back in to watch and engage more? And like, that's why I love March Madness as a perfect example. Like I really won't watch an entire game
for sure.
of college basketball.
Yeah.
But when my points are on the line or my bracket's on the line, like you better believe, like I'm waiting to the last minute because I want to know. There's that gratification that you get.
Investment.
You're invested in it.
Absolutely.
So
Investment.
whether you're betting real money or even fantasy or free to play stuff, I think fan engagement. The NBA is a leader in this, and so to line up with them is killer. I listened to a panel the other day with a guy who's just all numbers from the NBA, and this really blew my mind. So I'm curious if you would agree with this. He said they did some studies on fans in the venue while they're watching, or even I think at home too, while they're watching a game, and they found out that the free throw, when someone goes to shoot a free throw, is the least exciting and most boring thing to an NBA fan.
Absolutely.
To me, I thought, what, like the most boring thing? Like, is that really the time? Like, literally, their heart rate slow down and they stop. It's like their first opportunity to look at their phones or take their eyes away from the screen.
Well, it's almost, unless that free throw is taking place at the end of the game in those last 8 minutes.
It has to have that relevant context, right?
Yeah,
but I was surprised to hear that. So there was some talks about, and they've tested this out in like the G League and other places, is making the free throws count for, instead of them shooting 2, they'll just shoot one, but make it worth 2 points. So there's less downtime, and they're just kind of moving. It's kind of it somewhat reminded me of the pitch clock, where they're like, okay, well, fans are bored of the baseball game. Let's speed things up and kind of eliminating all that extra downtime. But I was really fascinated to hear that. So one thing we're working on right now with the NBA directly is putting basically free throw probabilities on screen for fans to watch and engage with. Now, then the operators who are the BetMGMs and the FanDuels of the world can then maybe take those free throw markets, put them in their app, and people could bet on every single free throw. So crazy. could we change that sentiment around the free throw? Like maybe it is like for me, I don't know. I think of free throws as like there's a make it or not. Like there's not a lot of variability. So I like to watch those moments because it's kind of a numbers thing to me. But if we put those numbers on screen and give that visual, like. Yeah, I think it'll be a really powerful thing, and that's something we're creating directly with the league, and it's never been done before.
That is extremely cool, and I tell people about Venue, and I tell people about the story you told us last year when the guy came up to bat and he had like a 99% chance to fail and he hit a home run.
Yeah, I'll be damned. We didn't show a 1% chance that this guy hit a home run. And he did it, but it's and you know, so there was like half of Twitter was like, screw these guys, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but that's the human element that makes sports amazing.
Exactly. Like I want to watch the 1% chance of something happening and then it happening, because I think that's why we watch live sports. Like we want to see those groundbreaking moments that like weren't meant to happen. A lot of our favorite things we've ever seen, like the buzzer beaters or those crazy like comebacks, are improbable, meaning they weren't supposed to happen. They were unlikely to happen. So, and also we run millions and millions of predictions. Like we're bound to not be perfect every single time. So that 1% chance, like if that's the one that I put on screen, like it was a fun moment to actually talk to and kind of explain. But, when we look at the numbers, it's really interesting because our probabilities don't just come from, like, let's use baseball as an example. Like when Judge is at the plate, we're not just talking about Judge. So his reach base probability or his home run probability isn't just his likelihood of just him hitting a home run. It's taking a ton of other factors. Like we're paying attention to the pitcher. We're paying attention to the count. Where are they at in the game? And we're running every scenario that could ever be possible and then calculating his probability of a home run. So sometimes people say, well, just put his on base percentage instead of the reach base probability. I'm like, but that's different. That's like a static
stat.
It's a stat.
Based off past
only. So we want to think future. Everyone's talking. I love you were talking about ChatGPT. Everyone's talking, all these predictive type things and AI, but that's core of who we are. You cannot look ahead without running those models and using that AI to surface up, what's relevant and what makes sense. So
and that's extreme value to the leagues, because now not only can they take what you guys have, but now they can engage with their fans. They understand, like you said, what players they like. There's notifications. Push notifications they can send out.
So many things you can do.
Yeah, man. Like,
I mean, how cool would it be to be, I put my marketing hat on and like if I see, there's downtime in a game or maybe let's just take the free throw. If I watch people bet or predict favorably for a certain player, like maybe I could pop up a jersey sale, and say, hey, like a lot of people are interested in this particular player. He gets a lot of engagement. I'm really also interested in the maybe potential marketing information we could get that the NBA has so much of that, but could we enhance it? And
like 25% off for the next 10 minutes, push notification.
Hey,
that's a good sell. That's a good deal. Somebody might jump on that thing, Yeah. So it's very cool to just watch y'all grow.
Yeah.
And every time I see the Apple TV, stat come up, I'm like, I'm kind of taking pride in the Venue, and I got nothing to do with y'all's company. You know what I mean?
So cool. Well, we have so many people we have people who support us, and I love people who have like the sports mindset, and obviously you have so much experience. I love when we get compliments from people who get it. Yeah. But I also love when a fan who's never really paid. I have a friend whose husband, it's so funny, he pulled me aside. He was like, I'll be honest, I don't watch sports. And I was like, well, I don't really know a lot of guys who don't watch any sports.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is me just stereotyping, I guess.
That's weird. I mean, it's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's not weird, but it's definitely strange.
Well, different is weird, though.
Strange for me. I'm not used to it because I'm usually the girl in the room with all the guys talking sports. So it's different for me. But I was caught off guard, but like in a great way. And he said something to me. He was like, "I'm going to watch baseball because that's the type of stuff I want to see on screen."
The analytics,
and that's why I do what I do, because I like the fan, either the casual fan, the new fan, the person who's got like no loyalty to any team. They're just interested in like tuning in. And for us to get them excited about those numbers, like, and whether they bet or not, like we're not just obviously talking betting. Our data can be used for that.
Yeah.
But I'm the emotional, excited, like committed fan that showing me probabilities on screen, me being able to say like, yes, I agree with that, or hell no, that's not going to happen. And, you know, just being able to generate a conversation around it, like, that's why I love it. And man, he tuned into some games. He was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited about that right-hand number, and I'm going to watch, and I wish every broadcast had that. So I'd better believe I took a screenshot of that and sent it to MLB. I said, I just want to let you know that people are tuning in to
Absolutely,
Apple.
because of this.
Because of this.
Yeah.
And
We're
who knows?
growing
I'm
in
sure there's
numbers.
people who turn it off because of it, but, you know, we're changing
Well, why would you turn it off because of it? I mean, people are different, and I'm sure somebody has a reason, but that would make me even more interested in, like, let me see if this thing is, you know, because I like to beat the machine. I like to be that 1%er.
I like to tell people, like, man, if you really disagree, like, I can't wait till we have all these odds that you can actually go bet on, because then bet on it. Then, like, tell me why we're wrong. And
so, have y'all had a lot of betting platforms contact you to try to partner with you guys?
Micro betting is new-ish. In-game is very popular in Europe. It actually takes up 75% of their betting markets are in-game versus
In-game, like prop bets.
In-game as in like.
So is there a difference between prop bets and micro betting?
They can be so the way to really think about it is kind of pre-market or pre-game and game bets, and then there's in-game. So again, like the key thing is, does the game have to be over for these things to be resolved? So is Judge going to hit a home run? The probabilities are blah blah blah. We don't have to wait to the end of the game.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait until the end of the game to see if the next ball is going to be a fastball and at 98 miles an hour. Like, there's these moments where it can resolve within. So we can do things, you know, we've been talking about same game parlays too. Like, could we have, you know, a player, and we could bet on the pitcher's going to throw a fastball. It's going to be this speed. It's going to be a hit, and
I'm just thinking about the computing power that this takes.
Machine learning, baby.
Because
like, you have to do it. You have to.
Being able to bet pitch by pitch, that's a completely different element, whether or not Steph Curry is going to score 26 points tonight. You know what I'm saying? So that's prop bet versus
we can
micro betting.
Yes, and I think there's still some prop bets we could do for like in-game player prop bets that we can do. Again, it doesn't require the end of the game to happen. So could we say, like, is Steph going to score this amount of points in this time segment? Or is he going to make all 3 of his next 3 free throws? You know, things like that are props, but like we can offer them within the game, and you don't have to wait till the end of the game to figure out if you want or lose.
So did y'all look up like any player, like specific player that beat the odds more than not? Like, was there one person in the league that, let's say that 99% was against them, but they did this time and time and time again where they beat the odds?
An excellent question. We have players that, particularly in baseball, because that's where we have the most data. NBA is still pretty new for us, but literally every moment of a game just helps this machine get smarter. So baseball, we've been running for years now. NFL, same thing. There's, years of data, but NBA is pretty fresh, but I'll talk about MLB. There are some players who have some really interesting behaviors, and we call them like the thumbprint of that player. Where at a certain count, you might think that they're going to go, like the probability of them reaching base might go down. In fact,
it's like a 1-2 count, 2-2 count.
And in fact, it actually goes up. And then when we look at it, it actually sometimes will have to do with the pitcher, or it'll have to do with some other factors in the game. So what's been really interesting, I'm so stoked to start to release some of this stuff, is some of that historical, so we can pull some information out. One thing I'm really interested in are the new MLB changes and how they're going to affect these players long term.
The time clock and all that
Time clock, the shift, there's all these rules.
So Joey Gallo's batting average has gone up way high because they can't shift anymore.
Right?
And I'm glad they took the shift out, because it's kind of whack when you got a guy that can stroke the ball and he's hitting line drives, like smashes to the gap, but there's 4 people in the outfield now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. So I like the fact they took the shift out of the game.
It's going to be interesting to see it turn up in the numbers, and I'm excited to produce some of those results and share them, because the same there were players like the MLB was like, hey, we're really interested in what Bellinger does this season.
Because of the shift.
Because of the shift.
Yep.
We're also interested.
Gallo is the guy y'all should be watching.
Yeah, there's several that people that say, hey, like this is interesting, but the numbers won't cover that. So I think I think a couple more months of data is going to be really exciting to pull from. But it's so fun. I got in a fight on my favorite page, Dallas Texas TV, the other day, where one guy was talking about the pitch change or the pitch clock change, and this isn't the way we're supposed to watch baseball. And I was like, as he's probably sitting at Globe Life with the in stadium air conditioning and $27 beer and hot dog. And I was like, is that how we were supposed? No,
nope.
We were probably meant to go roast outside at a 2 p.m. day game, but inside you're enjoying that air conditioning.
Yeah.
Jeb,
and
whoever you are.
Back in the Gap, they used to wear suits to the ball field. You know what I mean? In the stands. Like, you used to get dressed up to go watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
So, not in Texas.
No.
Not in Texas.
But I'm excited. The numbers tell a lot, and the cool thing is like it's not how we feel about it; it's the data.
Yeah.
And so if we want to argue it, it's straight facts and objective data. And it's been really cool. I mean, so the NBA deal has been awesome. We've raised an additional several million, so we're almost up to the $8 million total.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Which is a lot, but also not as much as a lot of people in the space have had to raise. But we've just got such a good tech team that we're not having to go and hire 80 machine learning experts because we've got a really strong team. So I'm really pumped. I mean, literally in a month from now, I've got some big announcements coming out that will cater to some of the sports that I really love and I really care about. Can't announce anything today, but there's some really cool things that there are wheels involved, which is new for me. Nice. Some tires involved.
That's pretty exciting for you, I'm sure.
So there's some really cool things. It's different, and to get leagues to buy in and be interested is really a night and day difference from where we were well received by the leagues initially. They were kind of like, well, we do talk fan engagement, but like betting, we're not really sure. But Apple TV and like just showing the impact of just getting people familiar with numbers and educating the fan, I think showed that like one, we can do it in real time. Like talk about broadcast delays. Like man, it's rough. But so to be able to have that timing right and to be able to show things in real time and for them to look good and be effective.
So much going on.
Man, it's hard. So the league buy-in is huge and so cool to be able to work directly with some of the. I mean, there's just some legends at the NBA and experts in this space, especially in the betting side. And we're so honored to have them like one, care about us, but two, be really invested in our success.
That's dope. What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to tell you the only reason the leagues are hesitating or saying anything is because they're trying to figure out how they can make money off of it.
Spot on, sir.
Exactly.
Like that is exactly. They want to know, like, hey, they're going to bet on our fans.
How's it going to benefit me?
Yeah.
One thing I think, like, if you think about it, the NBA has been really vocal about this, is if the NBA doesn't participate in getting these markets in a good, like, in helping and collaborating, then fans are going to go to these offshore, illegal, non-NBA official places where they're not going to get a true NBA brand experience. And NBA is protective of every league I've worked with. Like, man, they want to make sure it is right for their fan, and I love their dedication to that. They'll say things like, we want the fan to have an authentic brand experience. We want to do whatever we can to make sure that we can help control that and participate in it and be collaborative versus them going to these other places to bet and not really getting the best experience. So I really appreciate their dedication to the authenticity, but also like the brand equity. And they're progressive. Of all the leagues, I'm excited to see what they'll adopt and then how the fans receive it. We don't know. So we'll see.
I'm very impressed, and kudos to InVenue again.
Man, I have the best team.
Yeah, the job you guys have done and what y'all are doing, being able to capture that in this moment right now, right? And to have the foresight, congratulations again.
Thanks.
And I can only imagine where you guys are going to go. I just
there's a 100% probability we'll be doing great things.
Nice.
Next time I come talk.
I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of that. So, got to take a quick break real quick, but we'll be right back, y'all. And we're back to the show, man. Christiana's going in right now. I love it. I couldn't
We
wait
skipped
for the
right
show.
to tech.
Was that?
We skipped right to tech. Sorry.
No.
We had to-
Say no more sports?
so no, yeah, we're
We're just getting started.
Right into
You know
the
what I'm
tech.
saying? That was the appetizer.
I'm ready.
You know? Yeah, that's the appetizer right there. But no, like I said, Venue is like one of the dopest companies out there. If y'all haven't heard of them, go look them up. And if you can't look them up, you can't find time, just watch a baseball game. You'll figure it out real quick on Friday night on Apple TV, man. It's dope, but it's time to spin the wheel.
God.
Welcome
Woo.
to Nunes Roulette. I don't know what we're about to talk about, y'all, but we're going to talk about something. Oh, NBA Conference Finals. Looks like half of the thing is cut off, but you see Conference Finals, and those are NBA guys, so you can
Most
figure it out.
importantly, you can figure it out.
That's all good. It's all good, man. So, yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the Lakers and the Nuggets last night?
I watched the game.
You get to take a look at that game last night, though?
In the same way we just talked about it. I looked at the first quarter, checked in on halftime, caught the last few
Ate a
minutes.
You kind
snack.
of knew what was going to happen at that point, huh?
Yeah, when I saw the first few minutes, I saw the Lakers didn't have the effort.
Yeah.
They didn't have the effort. So
Was it due to fatigue? You
no,
know those long series.
it was
it's
due.
a toss-up how you
No,
can come out in
no.
that
You're a
first
professional
game.
athlete. You had a couple of days rest.
You got to bring it.
You should be ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just due to lack of mental preparation and not really realizing the gravity of the moment.
Yeah. How can you not realize the gravity of the moment in the Western Conference Finals? Like, how is that? Like, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense, but I'm just going by, this is, let me preface this like I say all the time about sports fans.
Yeah.
This is only my opinion. None of this is facts. Because a lot of times we get it mixed up. We think our opinion is the facts.
Yeah.
And my opinion is not the facts.
Yeah.
But just from what I observed, it's just like the athletes for the Lakers last night, they were like, okay, well, we're in the Western Conference Finals. We got LeBron James.
Yeah.
We'll go out here. We'll win this first game.
Yeah.
Without realizing that I got to give my 100%,
Yeah.
just like you got to give yours, and see why I got to give hers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then by the time they realize, the urgency of the situation,
They down
you
20.
down by 18.
Oh man.
Now you playing like you should have started off playing.
Exactly. Digging yourself out of a hole.
Yeah.
So how'd you take the game last night?
I watched this. I had a similar. I was excited about. But game ones for me, I'm excited about them, but I also know it's not going to tell the whole story. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear your feedback. But I'm not surprised. Like, how can you not be all in? It's the final. Like,
yeah, exactly.
here we are.
Exactly.
But maybe one thing I was thinking about and was reading a little bit about the and people joked about it, but the altitude change for them.
Oh, it's difficult.
Maybe not. You need to maybe overcompensate and over recover.
Yeah.
And really maybe over prepare for a game like that, where maybe your mindset could be 100% on your mindset, but physically, if you're not accounting for the literal
altitude,
physiological changes
Yeah.
between venues.
Yep.
Like I read a couple of, I think Denver was 6-0 at home,
Yeah. They're undefeated at home right now in the playoffs.
and that's not a coincidence. I
Yeah,
don't think so.
absolutely.
I was interested to see that, but you saw the fatigue.
They
I
got
think
a pretty good team too.
not bad. It's not
Yeah.
just the altitude. It's not just the
Yeah, that's
altitude.
what I'm
They got a
saying.
pretty
Yeah.
good team too.
But-
Denver's got a
there was
very good
something-
squad. Very
Yeah.
good squad.
Yeah.
Very good. So I love a good rivalry of players. It was cool to watch LeBron. But it's all I like to see them. If it would just been a total shutout on either team, I'm not as excited. I like the finals.
For sure. No, I do as well. And I'm a Lakers fan. I think we all know that. I've said that enough on the show.
I'm a
But,
Lakers fan also.
I felt good about the way they played the second half. I felt like they found something. And of course, you got Jokic. You have one of the most unique players we've ever seen in this game.
Yep.
Right?
You're right.
He's not an explosive guy like LeBron James is in his younger age. He's not as quick as Allen Iverson, right? And he's not going to beat you up and down the court with his athletic ability.
Yeah.
He's different from Luka Doncic even. Is he 7 foot? He's right around 7 foot. Jokic?
Joker? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's right around 7
7
foot.
foot,
And this
yeah.
guy's bringing the ball up the court.
Yep.
If he's not bringing it up, he's jogging down the court and they're giving it to him when he gets there, right? So athletically, he's not a guy that you're just blown away by.
Yeah.
Like if I saw him in a combine, I'd be like, not impressive, But when you put the ball in his hands, like this guy, he's one of the best big man facilitators I've ever seen. That completely controls a game.
Yep.
Right? He had a 30 point, 20 rebound game last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And completely, dominated AD. Now, what the Lakers did, Darvin Ham, Texas Tech grad, backboard breaker. I don't know if y'all remember that highlight back in the day when he did that.
I know Darvin Ham, yeah.
But he made a hell of an adjustment putting Hachimura,
Yeah.
Raj.
Yeah.
Ain't that his name? I might be messing his name all the way up.
Hachimura.
Right. Hachimura.
That's close enough. We know what you're talking about.
The subtitles are going to be confused.
Yeah.
We got it.
So when he put Hachimura on Jokic, on the Joker, everything changed.
Yeah.
Because now AD was able to play free in the lane and do what he does, blocking shots on defense, getting boards. And I'm curious to see what type of adjustment Denver's going to see now that they've come back and, they'll have time to watch tape. I want to see what they do because they've got length. They've got athleticism with Aaron Gordon, that point guard, that the what's his name? The guy that was hurt last year.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
They've got the other Porter Jr.
Yeah.
That guy's a beast, and he's 6'10" and can
Yeah,
shoot that rock.
Denver's got a very good squad, but the difference between AD and Hachimura on Jokic last night, AD trailed Jokic down the floor.
Yeah.
Jokic get the rebound, dribble all the way down, AD trailing the whole time.
Yep.
Hachimura hustled enough to get in front of him and make him change paths.
Yeah.
You can't let him just go straight.
Yep.
You have to make him change his path.
He's putting that body. He's got a little more size on him than AD
yeah.
does now. AD, he's
Because,
skinny, but he's not Durant, but he's not
Jokic
Kevin Willis either.
Yeah, Jokic can handle the ball,
Yeah.
but he don't have handles, if you understand
sure.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you just let him rebound, dribble straight, and facilitate,
Yeah.
he's going to kill you. But if you make him rebound, change directions, if you make him change directions, he's going to have to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Because he can't go behind his back between his legs. So you have to make him change direction, make him get off the ball. But if you let him do like they did for 3.5 quarters, dribble, get the rebound, dribble straight down the court. Now he can facilitate from the middle.
Yeah.
You know, sports is simple,
Yeah.
but we try to make it complicated.
And Jamal Murray, I think he is one of the most underrated guards in the league. The guy kills everybody he plays against.
Oh, yeah.
He is really good. Now,
Very good, very good.
so, do you have access to analytics like while you're at home just watching by yourself?
I do have some. It's not super helpful in just watching, but I actually worked with or got to meet a company called Shot Quality. I brought some stats for y'all if you want to hear about them.
I do.
It's a company called. You're like, well, it's not us. So they've got some really cool. They also use predictive data, but they assign a shot quality score to these players, and they start to really audit and assess where players are the most effective, and they do predictions basically ahead of the game, and then they release these reports. You should follow them on Twitter. Is my favorite spot to see some of them. But I asked their CEO for some data to share. So I'd love to. Can I pull some up for you?
No, yeah, pull some
I thought
up.
it was really interesting.
I want to hear this analytics.
Yeah, are they saying that the Lakers are going to win this series? That's what I want to know.
You know, they do a lot before games, and which I think is really interesting because it gives like whether you're hoping that they're right or you want them to be wrong, like you're tuning in. So I thought it was really interesting. But their CEO Simon was really great. He gave me some fun. I'm gonna send you the visuals too. Their Twitter is pretty interesting to follow because they create a data visualization of the shot quality score.
I'll put them in the post production.
You absolutely should. Let's see here. They gave some interesting things on. I'm gonna pull up the visual so I can tell you guys. So then when we put it on screen, it's gonna look great. But they're a cool startup. I believe they're based out of Chicago. Or our investor, we have mutual investors. They're really great. Shot Quality on Twitter. Let's see here. They do a breakdown. So they had a shot quality breakdown of last night's Nuggets over Lakers win. Denver Nuggets were expected to score 9 fewer points on mid-range. Let's see. Anthony Davis was expected to score 7 fewer points than he did. Shot quality calculates the expected value of every shot taken by every player on the court. And then the shot quality score shows the outcome of a game had each player played to the individual ability, adjusting for game situations such as heavily contested shots and deep shots. So the shot quality score that is lower than the actual score of a game means the team shot better than average. Yep. And then a shot quality score higher than the actual score of the game means the team shot worse than average. So this is a cool visual. I wonder if I can just shoot you the graphic or this Twitter, or what do you want? What can you actually?
You can send it to me on my cell.
Let's see on your beeper here. Yeah. I just think it's a cool, like, it's different than what we do, but it's an interesting visual to just show how these guys differ here. Here's this. But I thought some of their info was interesting. But they do a lot after every game. I get playoffs are super fun for them. But I don't have.
Wow.
I don't have just all of my. Sometimes I like to just watch sports.
Yeah.
But I do like to follow along with the data. So shot quality is a fun one to follow. But I also like to read what the fans are saying. I saw somebody say the other day that if LeBron wins this championship, it's the least impressive championship he's ever won. I'm like, they'll dog you if you get more crap if you make it to the finals or to the championship game and lose than if you don't make it at all. I'm like, but dude, this is his 12th appearance.
Yeah. Like,
can we?
That's the most ludicrous
comment
idea ever.
Silly.
And here I go again. But that started with Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. He's 6-0 in the finals. Okay, but he played 15 years. The other 9 years he lost somewhere. They talk like losing in the first round is not as bad as losing in the finals.
Yeah.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's one of the most dumb sports statements I ever heard in my life.
And you know it's some dude who's sitting at home with his Miller Lite.
It's some
couldn't shoot a basketball to save his life. I don't know if this visual is good, but it's really cool. So they'll show how they perform here. You've got the Lakers at the bottom.
So we've got the actual score and the shot quality right here.
Yep.
Right. So they both outperformed the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we go here to the simulated score and the actual score, right?
Yeah.
Is this the visual we're looking at?
Correct.
All right. This is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like what they're able to do, man.
It's exciting to see. Like it's just another example of tech in sports.
Yeah.
You've got people who are building smart tech, but they're sports experts or they're big fans. So I think they can lend a different type of viewpoint to tech. If you've got somebody who's all tech but doesn't know much about sports but trying to create a sports product, you see it. Yeah. So I love following their stuff. It's a good place. We as in Venue we're really B2B focused. We're focusing on the betting content, but there's some cool things that I've been inspired by shot quality. Like could we show some of those players that are outperforming or going against the odds, or maybe they're not performing. I mean, you look at why.
I know who has the worst shot quality, and that's Dennis Schroeder. That dude takes the most ridiculous shots, man. I'm like, bro, like, why are you doing that? Why? Yeah. Or Russell. Russell takes some bad shots too. D'Angelo Russell, isn't that his name?
Russell. D'Angelo. Yeah. Oh my God.
He takes some bad shots too. I was like, man, why are we taking this shot? That's 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Yeah. Why are we taking this shot right now?
Yeah.
But anyways. So how do you feel about this Boston Celtics and Miami Heat series coming up? That's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm hearing rumors that Jimmy Buckets might be Michael Jordan's son. So I'm just saying.
I saw a poll. I'm gonna poll my audience here. The two of you guys. Someone said pick a pill. Jimmy's first ring or LeBron's last ring. Like, what do you want to see? And I said
LeBron's last ring. Like I love LeBron. I love LeBron. I love greatness.
Yeah.
Right? Might not know that I love LeBron as much as I do.
Oh no, it's not.
I love LeBron.
Oh, we know.
It's not that I love LeBron.
I can sense it from here.
Yeah, I love Jordan.
It's not that I love LeBron more than I love Jordan. Mm-hmm. I just want people to realize that you are no better than your teammates. If it doesn't matter if you're LeBron James or you are Michael Jordan or you're Greg Popovich, you are no better than your teammates. Because, at one point, Greg Popovich was the smartest basketball coach in the world.
He had a good night last night, right?
So I just have one question. Is Popovich coaching these guys he got now different than he did David Robinson and Tim Duncan and And
Parker.
Mono Ginobili, Tony Parker,
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott,
Yeah.
Robert Ory. Is he coaching these guys different? No, the guys are different.
Yep.
The coaching is not.
Yeah.
So
That's like Belichick. Same
because just coaches are no better than their players.
Yeah.
Players are no better than their coach. You're no better than the people that you work with.
Yeah.
Just because right now, Jonathan, you're no better than me and CY.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I could dunk on somebody.
I'm just saying. I mean, no, I'm just teasing about that.
Right,
I mean, but in sports, we get hung up on this GOAT concept.
Yeah.
You can't be the GOAT in team sports. You just can't.
Do you believe that? You don't think that's a go?
I think there's marketing goats who can sell the hell out of stuff and build up a team, but I think I was just listening to something
Michael
that
Jordan is the most
talking
popular.
about
He's the most popular.
Hey,
Yeah.
did y'all see Air? I saw Air, the movie. Y'all got to watch that movie. With
I
Ben
loved it.
Affleck.
I thought it was. I'm a marketer and I like
Yeah.
sports,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also I grew up in this whole theme of things. Like
Yeah.
it was a cool. I thought they did a good job.
Because
Yeah.
we get,
Great
you know,
job.
highlights is just that, highlights.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I saw, just this week, I saw a film of Michael Jordan highlights of his whole career, about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I saw a highlight of LeBron just this year, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
LeBron did some highlights, fabulous stuff.
Yeah.
But then on this highlight film, they didn't show John Morant dunking on him.
Yeah.
Not on his highlight
You're not
film.
gonna see that on the
You know, but they showed him. He blocked a couple of guys from. Was it Sacramento? We chased him. He had a couple of chase down blocks this year.
Yep.
And the one time he came off the wing and double clutched and dunked over his head.
Yeah.
Highlights.
Yeah. Yeah, but to go back to your question, I will take LeBron's last championship over Jimmy Butler's first. Like, Jimmy Butler's going to win some championships, I believe, if he can get past Jason Tatum and if they bring Brown back next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right? The Celtics, they have a great core, a great nucleus, but Jimmy Butler, he's that guy. Like, he is the one guy, and I said it last week, that reminds me of Michael Jordan, that will refuse to lose. He don't care who's hurt. He's going to figure this out, and he can rally a team behind him, you know? And so I'm very curious to see, and I also think Jason Tatum is one of the most underrated players in this league.
Yeah.
The guy is special. He's been special for a long time now, and he's maturing. He's of age now, about 6-7 years in the league now.
Yeah.
It's about time for him to start doing what he's doing.
If he's going to do it.
Yeah, but I think he's ready. So there's people in this world that don't recognize how special they are.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody else around them recognizes
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but they don't recognize it. And I think he's just now recognizing how special he is. And that's a powerful tool. When you realize that there's greatness in you, like, you then believe no one can beat you at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So seeing Jason Tatum grow into who he is, I can't wait. This is one of my I don't care about the East anymore since LeBron's not there anymore. You know, and since MJ's not there anymore. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care about the East anymore, but these two guys make it very compelling. You know, and move on. We'll move on.
Whoa.
I didn't mean to switch it up because I had another graphic. But I guess we'll come back to that. That's what roulette's about, man.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
don't
make
know.
us
You
change the
never know.
subject.
Yeah, you'll switch
We
up.
can find a speaking of teams and like people on particular, like there's people who have loyalties in F1, but if a driver goes to another, like they'll evolve. Like they have loyalty in F1 is really interesting. But
That's like Carlos Perez going to Red Bull. Who was he with before?
Carlos Sainz is with Ferrari. Oh, you're talking about Checo. Perez.
Perez? With
Yeah.
He was the number 2 guy for Red Bull.
Okay, yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw that your guys' chat last week and you were like, this is the same cars, right? And I'm like, well, they should be. And they kind of are, but you can just tell there's like key differences and the strategies are different.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to watch. You know, it's different than a team sport like basketball. It's a team sport, but there's 2 of them, and they're basically given a baseline of a vehicle to use, literally a vehicle to use. And so you'll see. I mean, people always say, "Well, I'll put the other guy in a Mercedes and see how they'll win a bunch of races, or put him in a Red Bull, see if they could win." So F1's a really interesting team sport because it's totally different than basketball or another.
Yeah.
But man, you can have some absolute stars in F1, but they're nothing without their staff and their engineers and the track support, which is sad because they're not going to be able to race this weekend. For that reason, they need to.
God didn't want it to happen.
It was not meant to be. There are some crazy floods in Italy right now, and I've been watching all week, like looking out to see, like, oh man. I mean, can you imagine being a fan who's like, I mean, are we going to go to the race? Are we not going to go to the race? People will build their whole calendar around something like this.
From what I saw in Miami and the spectacle that it was, I'm like, this is a road show.
Yeah.
Like F1 is literally a road show.
Oh yeah.
You know, like.
Did you see LL Cool J's driver introductions? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Was that LL Cool J doing that?
That was LL Cool J.
Wow. And Will I Am.
And Will I Am was conducting. Yeah, it was interesting, man. They caught a lot of shit for that.
That wasn't good. They didn't like that.
The drivers didn't like it.
It's so crazy because as a person that doesn't typically watch F1, that made me watch F1 that day.
We all have our preferences.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and I was like, what the, is this typical? Like, I'm not used to this. Like, and they're going crazy down here in Miami. Yeah. You know, like, got Will I Am, they've got the guy. I'm like, they're walking out like boxers right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just crazy, but it kept me watching. It kept my attention.
You know, you got the traditional, like, Miami's in year 2.
Yeah.
Vegas is going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's this year. Thanksgiving week.
Outdo Miami in their presentation?
I think they have to because they've got all the glitz and the glam. And like they've really hyped up Vegas in a way.
Why do people just skip over Austin? You know what I'm saying?
You know,
like why?
Wait. Just okay. I'm just gonna say the name.
I'm tired of people Miami, Texas like this.
Miami, Austin, Las Vegas, and you're talking about a party. Pretty much, you're talking about a party.
Hey, I'm telling you this. I've been to a hell of a party in Austin. You know, for my birthday, I went to ACL and I saw Jay-Z, the Gorillaz, Ice Cube,
what year was this?
the rapper.
What was Jay there?
2017, I believe.
Okay.
A great year.
Yeah,
it's probably the best one ever.
I think every single. I mean, if you look at every race throughout the season, they all have a different flavor. Yeah. It's just like their track itself. Like there are turns that are unexpected.
Yeah.
There are weird things that they'll do. There's weird traditions. I think the U.S. is trying to make a name. Like we're trying to build F1 here. We've got to include familiar faces. We couldn't not have someone like LL or somebody who's familiar to the American F1 fan.
Yeah.
Because then they'd be like, who is, they're already confused. If you're a brand new F1 fan, which there are a lot of because there's a huge amount of buzz around.
Series.
Netflix certainly helped, I think.
Did you watch that series?
I watched it, but I've been watching races for years before, so it was really cool to go back and watch as, where they take, it kind of reminds me of Hard Knocks. Like take like the, glimpses of what happens behind the scenes.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, maybe an unpopular opinion. My favorite way to watch football is the way they film it for Hard Knocks. Like, I want to know the drama from the team the week before. Yeah. And I don't want to watch the whole football game. I want to see the clips and I want to know, like, I want to see not just the highlights, but I want to see when shit didn't go the way they planned. I want to, like, that. So that's what Drive to Survive, I feel like, gave that similar view of like you start to figure out which drivers you like and which teams you like and which that you don't. And
there's so many more people that are now fans of F1 because of what
huge. You were at the Red Bull run. Yeah. I was shocked to see not enough marketing for that because I think it was huge, awesome but it was so cool that
I think it was purposeful because there was already a lot of people out there, and then he marketed well. Like I think they started marketing maybe a week before.
I got a call from Red Bull itself, like 2 weeks before, and I was like, "What? Yeah. Like, what do you mean this is how?" I'm pumped because we're not in Austin. We don't get a race. Yeah. There was one in the '80s and in Dallas, 1984. Wow. And it was so hot. I think it was in July. It was bad. But they had a driver. I think I mentioned this on the last show. They had a driver who literally got out of his car because his car died and tried to push it across the finish line, passed out because it was so hot. They were like, maybe we shouldn't be doing races in the middle of.
He should have taken his helmet off.
Rookie. But no, like Austin's a fun one. Yeah. I feel like, but it's been there for several years. It's not the newest, so they're gonna put effort and dollars into Miami.
So are Miami and Vegas pretty new?
Fresh. Vegas is this will be the first Vegas.
Brand spanking new.
brand spanking new. They did it years ago, I believe, but this is a run down the strip. Like they're literally shutting down the strip.
That is dope. That's like video game-esque.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
and that's a long straight. So that's
that's
fast.
That's longer than
fast.
people think because it's so crowded. But that's
Take every car and person out of it. Like when I was in
hit
Vegas,
max speeds out there.
oh, it's kind of scary to be honest. When I look at those straights, I get excited, but I also get really nervous. Like those guys are going 200 miles an hour plus, and that's if they're all in. Everyone's going in a nice straight line and not colliding with each other.
So
That's
your
dangerous.
favorite races? Do you like more straights or more of the strategic like curves and things like that? Like Nuremberg, right?
My favorite races don't really depend on the track itself. I think it's like I like the history of the tracks. I like the effort that goes into showcasing the drivers and then again the history of it. Like this track is at Imola, and that's where Senna died, which was like, can you imagine like someone bigger than Lewis Hamilton, like larger than life personality, Ayrton Senna died at the Imola track in 1994.
Holy cow,
and so this race has a lot of like history to it. Not only has it been, a popular track for them for years, but it has like a lot of people got started in F1 because of Senna or started watching it because of Senna, or their kids know about it because of Senna. Like there's history there. So it's a bummer for this week because I don't really know how F1, I don't know if they cancel or reschedule.
That's what
or
I was going to ask you. That was my next
there's
question.
so much money on the line.
My next question.
Look at me.
How they
I
gonna do
just
this?
predictive AI, just what's next?
Invent
What's
you in the
next?
brain.
And venues in my
I
brain.
see.
Like I actually don't know. I've only seen a handful since I've watched F1 maybe the last 6 years or so of them canceling. They canceled once the Russian Grand Prix because there was a war in Ukraine. So that was a good one to call it on that. And then the Chinese Grand Prix, they haven't done since COVID. They haven't opened it back up for spectators. So as soon as COVID hit, they canceled and they never rescheduled. So
I bet it would be cool to have one in Japan. Like in Tokyo or something like that. Tokyo Drift. I mean, damn. Like, why don't they have a race? You know what I'm saying?
Because the Tokyo Drift guys out here. Honestly, I think that you can make a cool track out of a cool a cool place you put the right effort. I mean, Miami, if you look at it, was people kind of hated on Miami too because they had like the paddocks were in the stadium, like whatever. I mean, come on.
And you brought up the Red Bull Run in Dallas, like just seeing that car just come down that hill before it took that I guess it was a right turn that it was taking, going into Victory Plaza.
Yeah.
I have so many videos. Yeah. Like that was just such a crazy scene, and it wasn't even a race with all the cars.
No, just a couple cars doing some tricks, and I was like,
I was
amazing.
Like I told Jonas, like I didn't know there were that many foreign people. And shout out to Drink Champs. Y'all really got me drinking on my show now because y'all get plastered on your show. And it gets more and more interesting the more y'all drink. So I'm on there with it now.
You want me to say something about Landis?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back, So shout out. Thank you very much for the inspiration.
There you go.
But Red Bull Run was freaking insane. Yeah. And just everything going on. Like they had a dope car show out there. Mm-hmm. But I would love for Dallas to have another race. And I think we're primed and ready for it, honestly. Quite honestly, I think our streets in Dallas would make for an excellent race.
I don't agree entirely, only because like where would we do one? Fair Park?
Victory Plaza.
That would
looking at the race I saw last week, was it?
Miami?
Yeah, Miami. Looking at the Miami streets and how like there was no passing on some of those streets.
No, those are tough.
Yeah, like we can produce the same thing, and seeing how he would fly over that hill and come around that corner and fly down there towards the W, like I was like, this is crazy.
I think Dallas is primed. Like they had they're not gonna have 2 Texas races, and I don't know when the contract for Circuit of the Americas.
It sounds like 5 states.
We're not close by. You're right. I don't think they'll do. I think they'll if they add another race in the U.S., I think they're gonna pick somewhere like totally different. They have a Formula E race there, which is really interesting. They actually go through the city, and that's all electric cars. I think that Dallas
those go faster than the Formula 1
They go
cars.
pretty fast. No fuel. They're because the F1. You were asking me earlier about the differences, like in the cars. Like F1 they don't refuel on a pit stop. So NASCAR does. Yeah. So those are a little bit longer. Indy cars, same thing. They don't really have to refuel.
So F1 cars, they just have 1 gallon. Like
they are with a set amount of fuel, and they actually have to be measured once. obviously they weigh the cars and check everything before the race, but after the race they have to measure and make sure that the numbers don't look crazy or that they weren't, that they have enough fuel. And so
that car is like all gas, basically.
It's a hybrid. They have it's kind of like there's moments where it recharges in a way where there's certain turns that they can take where when they slow down, it's recharging the battery.
Regenerative braking.
So
I learned that from my vehicle.
There you go.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been really fascinated to learn more about is a lot of the tech you see in F1 ultimately ends up in our cars.
Yeah.
They use it as not just in F1, but in other racing formats. You see some of that tech show up in our cars years later. But I think Formula E would be a really cool thing to do here in Dallas. We've got a huge play for sustainability. Yep. I've teased that like DFW Airport would make a really great place. I mean, we've got more pavement on the ground of DFW Airport than all of Manhattan.
Yeah, I mean, and it's as big as it's Manhattan.
Huge.
Yeah, like DFW Airport alone.
Oh yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
and they're about to build a whole other terminal. Like, please, guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll be another. My prediction is there won't be a Dallas race anytime soon for F1, but I am interested to see the investment in America, like fans getting excited about F1 in America. That if there's enough, I think they'll Vegas was timed beautifully, like right on the cusp of Drive to Survive. There's a lot of people excited. They've got other teams that are, driving some buzz. So if you're new to F1, I would tell you to go look at this blog. It's called Away We Go, spelled like the Louisiana Go. Away We Go.
G-E-A-U-X.
Correct. And if you're new to F1 or an American fan, excellent spot to land to learn kind of driver history. You were asking about Andretti the other day, and Jonas was like, "He's dead. He's not.
He's out the scene."
He was so funny. He was like, "Where's Mario?" And he was like, "Dead." And
that's all I used to hear about is Mario Andretti in the 90s.
Yep,
that's the only racer I knew.
Got an interesting story. So that's a great blog to just learn about the history and the drivers. There's a lot of American F1 history that nobody really knows about. So we have an American driver this year. I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but the reason why Miami was really cool, bummer for him, I think he ended up in last place. But
oh my gosh,
the American driver for Williams is from Florida. And so it was cool.
We can't have that kind of representation.
Oh, man. It's okay. It's okay. He's young. He's with Williams. No one expects Williams to be...
Who's Williams? That's a team?
Yeah. They've had a tough... They used to be champions, and they've had a tough couple of years. Sound
like it's a black F1 team.
Williams now.
I can't say that it's literally as white as it gets. It's an English team. Couldn't be more white than they are. But Williams, if you're watching this, no, they've got again a team with a ton of history, gone through a lot of changes. But Logan Sargent is a driver for them, and he's from the United States. That's why I think they went all out of Miami.
That's the only American F1 racer?
Only one.
Are you serious?
Right now. There's been others, obviously, but only one.
Oh, I'm about to get Prince wants to drive his little Lightning McQueen car all the time.
Get him a Logan Sargent sticker.
Get it started.
Our thoughts are obviously with like the people. The reason the track is okay at Imola, but they're literally some of the footage I saw. It reminded me of Katrina, like people on their houses and on their cars. The flooding is so bad. So F1 made a super smart call because sports are sports.
Yeah,
but people are so important in their safety. So they wanted to make sure that any additional emergency staff and the police and all of the infrastructure there is focused on making sure that their communities are safe. And we'll see what happens.
I'm curious to see how whether they reschedule it or whatnot, because it's
a lot of money on the line for people. Yeah, and right now Red Bull is obviously crushing it. But we'll see. Maybe they'll tack it on at the end of the season. Who knows?
Conspiracy with Red Bull, but. Can you please explain the difference between Indy car racing and F1 racing? Because I thought it was the same cars.
They of all of the racing cars, it's probably the most likely that you could confuse an Indy car and an F1 car. They are both V6 engines versus the NASCARs are huge. They look like a sedan.
V6?
V6.
Going 200 miles an hour?
Yeah, on one tank of gas. Yeah.
The V6 allows it to go on because the V8 will not be able to do that. What?
Yeah. So if you've ever seen, NASCAR, like those Corvettes. Big body cars, like you can fit multiple people in a NASCAR if you really needed to. They've got all that infrastructure on the inside. The cabin's different, and that's why they can get all the sponsors everywhere because it's a bigger body. Like they got more surface area for that. But IndyCar and F1, both I think they're more sleek, they're more aerodynamic. They obviously go through different types of styles of tracks than NASCAR. I went to an IndyCar race at Texas Motor Speedway the other day, and it was amazing. I sat really right up on the starting line, and the sound is unreal.
Yeah.
But it was more manageable than sitting at a NASCAR. Like NASCAR was so loud.
That's ridiculously loud.
That I had earplugs in, and then I was like, nah, I gotta really be in it. So I took my earplugs out. I was like, at NASCAR, I put them right back in.
Yep.
IndyCar, I was like, I can handle it because they're so fast. It's almost
like a zoom. It's like a Maserati versus like a big truck. With
I was gonna say like a dually. Yeah.
A Maserati
Like
versus
your brain
a
is shaking.
Charger.
Yeah. No, like a 250, F-250
man.
with glass packs. And,
So the cars are fat. I think Indy and F1 are more comparables. I think their top speeds are like 230, 250.
Okay.
Around that range.
So the
but
cars
NASCAR
are very similar to each
very
other.
similar, but they've got
slightly
different history, and Indy's much more popular here in the United States.
Is it still? Because F1 has really come along.
It's a different fan base.
Okay.
Like you're talking, the
It's like
fans.
NASCAR and Indy, is that typically the same fan base?
It's all different. Like it's all, everyone has like a different flavor. You'll find fans. If you're a racing fan, I feel like you probably have some interest in every race. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I watch NASCAR, but I also like NASCAR at the league level doing
I watch track.
really amazing things.
Yeah, I love racing.
But Indy is really fascinating too. Indy has an ex F1 driver that I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago. And you, even if you don't watch F1, you probably heard about Roman Grosjean, who was in a fire. His car slid into a barrier, and I'm watching this live, which are normally like really early mornings, and I'm up early watching this race, and he slams into a barricade, and like you see the back part of his car go off to the side, and then the front is in the barricade on fire, and you're like, where is he? Like you can't even really tell, and it takes minutes, and like they know, F1 knows, like these are obviously very risky situations. As soon as they're unsure if someone's okay, they turn away. Like they don't put the cameras on them.
Gotcha.
And so they remove the cameras, probably for the families, because they don't know what's happening. But Grosjean climbs out of that fire. His foot's on fire. He's like shaking it off. His gloves are burnt, but he's okay. Yeah. He climbs. It takes, I don't know what the actual time was, but in real time, it felt like it was
I feel like 5 minutes.
Yeah, felt like forever. I remember.
Oh my gosh. I remember being like, I can't watch this. Like I just felt for like your family's watching too, So I was like, I feel really bad about this. He climbs out of there. They're literally hosing him down like the fire extinguishers. He gets out. He has got some burns on his hands. They're certainly serious, but he gets out of there. And I'll never forget, they did an interview with his wife, who you just watched. She was like, I don't really know if I ever want him to get into a car again, but I understand if he does, because this is his passion.
I don't even want him to drive to the store.
Yeah, you're not driving any Trader Joe's, no sir. Yeah. So he actually drives in Indy now, which is really fascinating. He does a good job. He's got a couple pole positions. I don't think he's won a race yet, but it's interesting to see. A lot of times they'll bounce around, and F1 drivers will end up in Indy and
so Indy typically, the difference from what I'm hearing is Indy is typically on a round track like NASCAR. And F1 is typically through city streets.
They do street tracks too. So what you'll never see F1 doing is spinning around in a complete circle. Like they'll never be at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah. But Indy will do that.
Yes, so that's where I got to see them, and I know it's just from fan bases. It's cool to see the investment. NASCAR specifically is making a huge push to get more of a diverse audience. They're making an effort to get women involved. They're making an effort to get more minorities and younger people involved. So it's interesting. You can literally go to a race and see the difference, like literally the difference in the audience. But everyone's at every race I've been to has actually been like really respectful and like. Yeah. You know where I've seen the most toxic fans? Hockey games. That's where I've seen the most toxic fans.
That's because every intermission they go get trashed. And come back a little more trash than they were in the period before.
Oh man, the meanest fans I've ever seen for hockey. But it's cool. Racing brings people together. Everyone can relate. Everyone can relate to it, right? I don't know what it's like to be an excellent basketball player or play on a football field, but I've driven in a car kind of fast. My Audi goes like 100 miles an hour, so
it goes faster than that. I promise you that.
I'm scared. That's why I'm not built for it. But
you're gonna hit it. You're gonna hit it one time. Down 75.
We'll
you gotta go like 11 at night though, because it's traffic like the rest of the day.
I do have an admission. Don't tell my mom this. I got my first my first speeding true speeding ticket is when I first got I drove a truck for my whole life until I drove an Audi. So I was used to a Silverado that really topped out at like 75 miles an hour.
But the Audi's I
got a little Audi, like it was a Q3, and I was this is back in my previous life, but I was helping
your
scrubbing
heyday.
back in my heyday. I was scrubbing into a surgery. I was literally taking equipment to go do a surgery with a surgeon in my clinical days.
Yep.
And I got on the Texas Express,
Yeah.
and it was so smooth. No other cars around, so I am flying.
Yeah.
A cop pulls out behind me, and he was like, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I said, "I gotta be honest, sir. I didn't even know my car could go." Like, he was like, "You were going 100 and." I think it was like 105. He was like, "You're very lucky today. I'm feeling nice." Like 105, I think the speed limit is 80. So I was really pushing it. I was like, I gotta be honest, I didn't even I had no idea.
Just
like, it was
moving.
so smooth.
Exactly, bro.
So smooth. So anyway, I got a ticket.
Hollywood will get you in trouble with that. I
So
love
smooth.
that.
What a
love
marketing tactic. Like, you may get a ticket, but you're welcome. So I made it to my surgery on time. I didn't get out of the ticket. I actually ended up having to pay. He was like, but it was cool to go that fast. So my car does go fast.
And I just want to say, Jonas, be happy that you didn't come today. Ghana Toto would have got towed to shreds.
Mario Grande, the Jonas the
Poor Jonas is
Cristiano was ready for you today.
Ferrari. Poor Jonas is stuck in the pits of the Ferrari.
He's in the
Ferrari
pits,
pit stop.
man.
Jonas, I'm gonna hold it up for you.
Issues.
You would have held your own, Jonas.
It's all good. Hey, I'm not gonna tell nobody you were ducking today, but I see why.
Conveniently, his tires weren't working.
But I see why.
Wow.
Pun intended.
Beautiful. Very good. Poor Jonas.
Moving on. So, a little boxing. We got a nice fight this weekend. A lot of people are anticipating this. Devin Haney versus Mr. Lomachenko. I don't think it's going to be much of a fight. I think Devin Haney's going to wear him out. Lomachenko's not ready. I think he knows he's not ready, just physically. Devin Haney's a bigger man, faster man. But Lomachenko, I don't know. You can't ever count that guy out. I think he's one of ESPN's darlings at the end of the day. And, they did their best to pump him up. He was one of the fastest champions, youngest to become champion, fewest fights. And he held that for a long time until he ran up against Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo Lopez cannot touch Haney. So it's going to be a good fight, but is it?
Where's it at?
Where's the fight taking place? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that. It's going to be here in America.
Okay, good.
Haney went to Australia twice. He went once as the contender and then once as the champion and beat Kambosos. Handily. Like, the guy, can't... When you go into a fight, a boxing match, and you come out looking the same way you went in, there wasn't much of a challenge.
That's one to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what Haney experienced. I think Loma's a little bit different, man. He's got great footwork. I think he's too small. I don't think he has the power to threaten Haney. I think once Haney realizes that he can't get knocked out by this guy, I think he'll go all the way in and take over the fight at the end of the day. So, unfortunately for Loma, because I do love Loma. The guy quit boxing to fight in the war for Ukraine, right? Made that decision on his own to do that. But, I'd like to see some good things happen, but I don't think it's going to happen this weekend. What you think about this fight?
Well, yeah, I think Haney's just overall too skilled for him.
Yeah.
Too skilled.
Yeah.
Too good of a jab, too good of a combinations, too big.
Yeah.
Just too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
too much for Loma. Are you very familiar with these fighters at all, CY?
Literally could not know less about boxing than I do. But I was just thinking to myself, I want to see a shot quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't actually, that's something I was thinking about is I don't know a lot of stats around boxing. So next time I come on the show, I'll be prepared with some reports for you.
These are two very good fighters, right? They're both top-ranked fighters. ESPN is loving this matchup right now, and I just don't think it's going to be much of a fight.
Is that a good thing or a bad? Is that good for ESPN or bad? If it's not really a fight, people are interested to watch, but is that where it's going to be on?
You know what they say about publicity, good or bad.
it's
good. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they've got the stage this weekend. ESPN's, they're going to promote the hell out of it. They've done it. And I just wish Lomachenko had 10 more pounds on him, could bring 10 more pounds to the ring than what he can. But because I like the guy, I like his heart. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. But Devin Haney is just a dog, and I like Haney too. And he's a dog, so I don't like to see Loma lose. I did not like to see him lose to Teofimo Lopez when he lost to him in that fight. But you know, they still have him ranked very high in the pound for pound list because ESPN has a lot of the market share in sports, and they can do that. They can dictate who gets seen and who doesn't. But this is going to be a one-sided fight, in my opinion. So it'll be cool to see a Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson situation happen. I just don't think it'll be this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll move on.
Next subject.
First place, how about them Rangers? Like Jonah said last year, I was saying strangers because we didn't know who they were. Or let me see, strangers because we didn't know who they were. But
now
these boys
we know
are
who.
balling right now. These boys are balling right now.
What do you attribute it to?
And this is something I wanted to bring up with you.
Uh-oh.
And it starts at the top.
Okay.
So John Daniels was an analytics guy. And he ran us into the ground. Jeez Louise. So I attribute it to John Daniels no longer being here. Chris Young, a smart guy. He's hybrid, right? He's a Princeton grad, analytic guy, but he played in the league, 6'10" pitcher, played in the league. He's got experience. He knows the game, right? Much like Nolan Ryan did, but not to that level, of course.
Yeah.
I think that hybrid approach is where you have to be. And I think that is why the Rangers are where they are, because they have a baseball guy making decisions. I think that, analytics alone will not get you where you need to be because that human element, right? The experience of Chris Young and his feel for the game, right, has brought us in a year and a half a long way, right? And we've got Adolis Garcia. Specifically, when we're talking about the what's taking place on the field, our pitching, our starting pitching specifically, has improved greatly. We went out and got the best pitcher in the game from the Mets, bringing this guy from Boston, and Uvalde. I can't think of his last name. Just had a blank suddenly. But that guy is special, right? He hadn't given up a run in the last 26-plus innings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his ERA is like 2.7 right now. That means he got shelled like in the first couple outings.
Yeah.
But he's comfortable now in Texas. Boston and Texas, that's like a village to, like the world, right? It's going from a village to the country, rural, basically.
Yeah.
It's a big change, but offensively, we're putting up runs. Adolis Garcia is continuing to just destroy pitchers. He's leading the league in RBIs right now.
I saw that.
Yeah, and the guy is he's special, man. And I think it's a lot of fun. Rangers fans, I got my jersey on.
Let's not pass over the 7th anniversary of the Bautista punch to the face. I saw that pop up on
This is the 7th anniversary?
7th year.
Yeah.
Since Odor and Bautista. Rougned Odor.
Rougned Odor. Yeah.
He know how to fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He know how to fight. Odor know how to fight.
You could look at him and know.
That's one of the reasons they brought him up to the league, because they knew he had that fight in him.
Because that right hand that he dropped on him.
Yeah, it was quick.
And
you have to know what you're doing to drop a right hand like that.
Media did Bautista dirt. Man, I think I saw that clip in all versions of slow-mo, regular slow-mo. Then they zoomed in to just watch his whole nose just go.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. So it's so funny. I was thinking about this, how they were all
Who
over.
was the guy he hit?
Bautista.
Jose Bautista.
Oh, Jose Bautista said after he hit him, he says, it take a bigger guy than that to knock me out or something.
Boy, please.
Man, they were.
You was KO'd on your feet, boy.
They were supporting you. I was like, he's way bigger than Ortiz, too.
Absolutely.
He dropped the right hand on him.
Oh.
Yeah. Odor,
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Now, if Loma drop a right hand like that on Haney, if Loma drop a right hand, Haney will go out. That's the kind of right hand that was.
Yeah, Rougned, so he literally got to the league. He's a fighter. Mm-hmm. He fought in the minor leagues. People don't realize how intense baseball players are.
Yeah.
The game has calmed down quite a bit in the past 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Them boys used to go at it, throwing bats, like they used to go at each other back in the 80s. I guess that's 40 years ago. Man.
Yeah, we're old. Don't bring
All
it
the
up.
sports were way more
Jeez
vicious
Louise.
because the cameras wasn't there.
Yeah.
You
a good
know,
point.
and like they see a couple of players arguing and stuff now. That's normal in sports.
Yeah.
It just was no cameras in the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yep.
That's what I was thinking about for the NCAA women's basketball. You got these girls who've got like a tiff on the court, and the cameras capture one moment where, you know, she's pointing to, what's her name, Reese? What's her last name?
Yeah.
Angela
Reese?
Angel.
Angel Reese.
Yeah.
And she's like showing off. I'm like, I guess y'all don't watch men's sports because that happens. Football,
Every
basketball,
play.
boxing.
Every
It's
place
all
somebody's
upfront.
talking smack.
Cameras, right? Just the timing of it was just exactly what you're saying. Like, this happens, but the cameras weren't always. They caught a moment, and they talked about that more than the win. They
Yeah.
talked about that more than anything else. I'm like, Bautista got his ass kicked
Yeah.
on the field,
Yeah,
and we weren't
everybody
shutting
saw
anyone down. We were like, look at what it's doing for. I have that on a
As
shirt.
a matter of fact, he
I have
got
it on
a
a
$100 million
shirt.
contract off of that
Yeah.
punch.
Yeah.
Nothing he did during
No
the game.
further questions,
Yeah.
Your
The
Honor.
guy hit under 300 for the Rangers, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But he got the big
He
contract.
hit around 250,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
But
But he got
the marketing, that marketing genius right there.
I have the punch on a shirt. And
Yeah.
it's my proudest position. I should have worn it, honestly. I messed up.
Yeah, no,
it
you
was
good.
a bar that from the city where I went to college. They or I forget where here in Denton, and
Because, you know-
they did a shirt with the punch, and I'm like, I'm gonna
I
have to
get
take
that.
it. How much is it? I'll take it. But yeah, you're right on the marketing dollars.
Because now they try to take taunting and all that out of sports, but actually
It's part
back
of
in the day that was part of the game.
That is
Yeah.
it.
I
That
mean-
is the game.
Yeah, you know, if I hit a home run, I'm not even a baseball player. I should be able to point at the pitcher and
Yeah.
then run to the base like, man, I told you not to throw that fastball
Exactly.
out the middle.
Exactly.
But now they don't.
Oh, as a fan, I love to
I
see
love
a bat
it.
flip. I
I
love
love
to
to
see a
see
pitcher
all that.
get excited and get pumped up after
Bench
a
is
strikeout.
cleared,
I
like-
love that. That's the human element of this game. These are not dots.
Yeah.
Like these dudes are out here
It's-
putting their, and what you see in those moments is all the work that they have put into that.
Yeah.
To
bring
that moment.
Yeah, man.
To- yeah.
So y'all go support your Rangers because those boys are balling right now, man. And
Before you
Jesus
go
was
off,
awesome.
I just got one question for you. It has nothing to do with the Rangers. So what you think about Aaron Judge peeking
I
over
knew
there
it
in
was
the
coming.
dugout the other day? Is that stealing signs or
No,
what?
I mean, look, as long as there's nothing technological taking place or no like two beats on the trash can, you know, like people have been stealing signs forever in baseball. Like you have pitchers primarily that are sitting in the dugout looking at the coaches trying to figure out what they're doing. Right, that's been a part of the game. I'm good with stealing signs like that.
I am too. Long
But
as
if
he
I got a buzzer on my chest
just,
or somebody in
got
the
a walkie-talkie or something like
no,
that.
I'm not good with that. So
I saw a clip from the Yes Network that after his home run last night,
Yeah.
zoomed in to just show that he wasn't making any like
But
they
this
were
is
trying
the
to.
thing.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, do you know how much talent it takes to look over there and then turn right back and hit a home run?
I think it's harder to do it.
Thing is this, you still got to hit the exact.
Still got,
gotta
I mean,
hit the
he
ball.
look over there.
Still gotta hit the
And
ball.
and the pitcher's winding up while he looking over there.
People
As
don't
soon
say anything. Look, when I played ball,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm at second base. Okay, I'm looking in to catch your signs. All right. Typically, if I'm the first guy at second base, I'm looking at the catcher signs. If I'm not, somebody's already told me it's been at second base. We're going on third sign. Third sign is a sign, right? So I'm on second base. I'll do this right here. Let the guy at home plate know I got the signs, or I'll do this. Let him know I got the signs, right? If I look to the outfield this way, fastball. If I look this way, curveball. Like period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I first got to indicate him, hey, I got the signs. I get my lead, fastball. Right? I was the type of player, I didn't want to know what was coming. I'm a better hitter when I don't know what's coming. But it don't matter if you know. My point is, it does not matter if you know what's coming. You still got to hit that
Still
thing.
got to hit it, yeah.
Still got to hit that
You got to
thing.
have hand and eye coordination.
Yeah. So, I mean, Aaron Judge, 62 home runs. The guy's not cheating, bro. Like, he can
He's
hit a
doing
baseball.
okay. Yeah.
He can hit a baseball. So, I have no problem with it.
Okay, I'm just wondering your thoughts because you're a baseball player.
Yeah, I got no problem
Because
with
I don't have any problem with it either. If you can steal the sign, if I can look right at the catcher and see what he's doing,
it. People do it all day.
I don't see the
People do it all
problem
day,
with that.
every day. Yeah. Now, and that's as a catcher, you know, you got to know your guys.
Yeah, you got to know.
You know, hey, what you doing? Hey, as soon as I see, if I'm a catcher and I play catcher, I see a guy stealing my signs. You know what sign I'm gonna get a picture? This right here. You know what that means?
Hit him.
Ear hole.
Yeah.
Hit him. Like
him.
straight up. Like this is stuff that y'all don't know that I know. And if the guy does reach base, you know what sign I'm gonna do as a catcher? I'm gonna do something like this, and I'm gonna go like this.
Mm-hmm.
This and this. This means I'm gonna pick off. My first baseman's not gonna try to catch the ball, and I'm gonna hit him when he's diving back in, right in the ribs.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff going on in the game that people don't realize about baseball.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that sounds crazy. And I'm just letting y'all know, like it's critical out there.
The league average for a home run, like a probability of a home run, is like sub 2% at any given time.
Yep.
And even when someone like Judge comes up and it's favorable to him, and there's a pitcher that is like no, like even I've never seen our home run probabilities go above 10%.
Yeah.
2%.
That's because Barry Bonds ain't playing no more.
Yeah. I missed the 90s. But Judge will spike to like 7%, but still think about it, 7% chance. If you see 7% chance of rain, you're not worried about rain. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how like small of a chance it is just in general. So to see him spike up to 6 and 7%, which is, you know, 3
Higher
times
than
the league
everybody
average.
else.
It's
Pretty
significant.
much,
And he does that on a consistent, like it rarely dips much lower than that because he's that strong. It doesn't matter who's pitching.
Aaron
He's
Judge is
powerful.
bigger than Gronkowski on a baseball field.
Oh yeah.
Wild.
Like, let's put that into perspective right now, okay? So he's gonna hit some bombs.
He's almost as tall as I am. So
Almost. As tall as you are on like 2 chairs.
yeah. On your shoulders, then Judge and I can look eye to eye.
So what we got up next? Dallas Stars to 5 games.
Man,
Were you happy about that?
I had
You're
a
a Stars
tear
fan.
in my eye. I was excited.
You got your green and black on today.
And my kicks. I don't know if you can. I don't want to knock over a camera.
Hey, you
I
good.
got these specifically for the Stars.
Nice.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Mainly because when we made it to the Stanley Cup, we were in a bubble, and Dallas didn't. There was not the hype that we deserved as a team because the fans couldn't experience. And you know, Dallas, we love to lean in on like going to the games and like it's such a clout thing too.
Yeah, no
and so
doubt.
to not be able to have it in Dallas, I think really took away from like the excitement. And plus, it was a global pandemic. We really weren't super excited about anything, but I felt like Game 7, like that win made me feel like, okay, we got a chance to do this again. Everyone's excited. We've got a really good team. We got some young guys that I'm like so proud that they've come together. Seattle, I didn't expect to make it to a Game 7.
I want to say they have the best name in the league. What's Kraken? Seattle Kraken, you know, Marshawn Lynch bought ownership into them because of that.
They did a good job. I mean, I feel like I've never obviously helped start up a team, but you know, the Vegas Knights, they popped off year 1 and 2.
I feel like in hockey, especially, like what they call them, the team, like new team, expansion teams. They fared pretty well. Like their first year that Vegas came, they
did well. They did really well.
Won the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Won the league, and then Seattle Kraken's coming, and they're here in the Western Conference Final. They couldn't get past Dallas, but
It was a fight. It was a fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at one point there were a couple of games where there were 6 goals, and I was thinking, oh shit!
I mean,
like,
Game 7, 2-1, like that's a series right there.
that was wild.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. I'm excited for Vegas too. But I think we've got there's some young players. Pavelski beamed in the head knocked out. I mean, did you watch him try to walk after that hit? Not during the Kraken. But he came back, scored 4 goals in a single game.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see
Knocked some
Pavelski.
sense into him.
Yeah, seriously. Ottinger, the goalie, he's young too, but man, he's crushed it this whole series. So I'm excited to see what he does next.
Very cool. Yeah, I have not been keeping up with it like I want. You know, I've been to a couple Stars games, and they are so much more fun in person.
It is
than
fun
I
in
watch
person.
on TV.
It is fun in person. For sure.
It's a whole experience. Like, you know, you can't help but to get into it with the rest of the crowd. But
Yeah.
it's Dallas, man. So I'm excited. The Stars are back
I
in
don't know
that thing, man.
when people talk about like they're not excited about the Stars. I'm like, when's the last time the Cowboys, the Rangers,
Yeah.
the Mavs? I'm like, we're
all doing it. Yeah.
This is our best sports team we've got right now, guys. Like,
Exactly.
let's rally, let's get behind them.
Yep.
But I think it's a cool organization. The team is in a really good spot. They've got some good players. The guy that scored the second goal of the game in Game 7 is 20 years old. Like he can't even go celebrate. He can't even celebrate with a beer after the game. He's 20
He
years
will.
old. He'll find a way, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
he's a young kid. He lives with Pavelski, which I think
Bro,
is really
I'll
funny.
go buy you a beer, dog. You know, you bring that thing home.
Legally, he can't purchase one, but I'm sure he's gotten plenty. I did an event with the Stars for my photo booth, and it was cool because I got to have every single player get on the booth, and I watched these dudes who are massive and super tough be nervous to get on a freaking photo booth. But Wyatt, the young kid who just scored the second goal in the game, is like super young and like just down for whatever. Like, just tell me what to do. I got it. And he had so much fun. But I heard he lives with Pavelski.
Oh wow!
Like he brought him in and was like, hey, like let me give you a good place to live and get you comfortable because he's so young.
Yeah.
Just a baby.
That's incredible.
Teaching him how to be a professional
Yeah,
athlete,
and
that's
Pavelski
good.
he's a good person to learn from. He's crushing it right now, and he's on the. It's sad to say, but he's on the older side of players. So
Y'all gonna be mad at me. I gotta take another rookie move right now. This is sad. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But hey guys, we'll be right back.
Let's just show the clip to start it off.
And we're back. Man, do y'all really bust guns?
God.
No.
No.
No, and neither does this guy. So, this has been one of the craziest situations I've seen any athlete put himself in years. Right?
I feel like I'm having deja vu.
Yeah, is it deja vu? All right, first time he gets caught in the club on video on his own Instagram live.
First of all, are we still Instagram living? Are we still?
Like, what's going on with that? Like, who does it? Like, like, if you were in the NBA, would you be Instagram living?
No.
Or would you be trying to get the hell up out of the scene somewhere and, like,
No.
not being seen, right?
I'm not going to incriminate myself
Yeah.
on Instagram Live.
So,
whatever.
All right, so Ja Morant, if y'all haven't heard the news, you must have been living under a rock. So Ja Morant somehow has, again, gotten himself in trouble on Instagram Live, showing a gun for the second time in like a month, 2 months. And it's only 2 months because he had like a month suspension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do y'all feel about this situation and what is going on with Ja Morant right now?
Like I said, I could not believe we're talking about this
again.
again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched a couple of clips and I was trying to get everyone's feedback before I gave my own. But there's a larger global issue here regarding guns that we probably don't have time to get into. But I just don't feel like you're in a position of influence, which doesn't mean, like, I think there's an unfair amount of responsibility placed on athletes in general.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there is also a level of responsibility of the people around you that I feel like who's still, what year is it that we're still glorifying guns at the club?
Like, man, cool. Are you watching Dear Mama at all on FX right now, Tupac?
I don't know. I just
Like, relax.
I gotta
please.
go watch that.
Or first of all, Instagram Live. If I'm your PR manager, we're not Instagram living your night. Like, if you're not talking about work and you're not doing something at home, we're not online.
Yeah.
Like, so there's that piece, but I just think there's a larger issue where we've continued to glorify guns and owning them and showing them off, and I just feel like it's caused larger issues. So I can't. I just honestly, I feel silly that we're even talking about it again.
It's like, what, I don't, that's not cool.
No,
There's
Not
nothing
at
cool
all.
about that. And I understand music and all that good stuff, but it's entertainment.
yeah,
Most rappers aren't living that life they're talking about.
None are.
You know what I'm saying?
The ones that are living their life
are in jail.
Are dead.
or dead.
Are dead.
Dead. Yeah.
Are dead.
So it's like, what are you trying to prove here, Ja?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have the opportunity to be
The face of the league.
the face of the NBA.
Not just Memphis, of the league.
We're talking about Michael Jordan in '86 flashing guns in the club on Instagram. Like,
Well,
Come on, bro.
lucky for
Jordan that
Jordan
wasn't
didn't
on
even have
camera.
Instagram. Because he would have been flashing something else.
Yeah.
But it
But
wouldn't have been a gun.
that's exactly like when you
You
think
know,
of it.
he would
Like,
have been flashing a pair of dice or maybe a blackjack hand at the club.
Yeah,
I mean, at the
poker
gambling
chips or
casino.
something, yeah.
But Ja Morant problems go, I got to say this again, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
They go deep.
yeah.
Yeah.
They go back to his upbringing, his parenting, and because some of the stories that I hear about him is that
Because he's got his mother and father around him, right?
so that's a lack of parenting.
Okay.
Because your parents was interested in getting you to the NBA and making a bunch of money, not disciplining you, not turning you into a good young man. They wasn't interested in but one thing, that's getting you to the NBA. Because Ja Morant's mother was at Foot Locker shopping, which I don't understand why she's shopping at Foot Locker when he
his
get
son.
everything free.
And the Nike contract, mind you, when you have a Nike contract, that doesn't limit you to only
Just
the
shoes. You get everything.
Everything.
So
All the shoes.
So she's at Foot Locker. She get into an argument with a Foot Locker worker. She get on the phone and call Ja. He come up to the mall with 5 or 6 of his road dogs or henchmen or whatever. I mean, whose mother does that? The average mother is going to say, okay, let me do everything I can
To protect my son.
to keep my son out of trouble.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And whose dad is at the game trying to mix it up with you and your
Shannon Sharp.
and then you and your dad
It's like, what's going on?
you know, you and your dad is hanging around you and your homeboys. Your homeboys got guns, and your dad is not telling you
This is not okay.
these are not the guys you need to be hanging around.
Yeah.
Because the first thing, I'm not exactly where sure Jai is from,
Yeah.
but he went to Murray State. So when he left his neighborhood or wherever he was, and when he left college, his dad should have told him, "You got to leave these guys here.
Yeah.
You going to Memphis, y'all staying at home." Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
you can't be your
People that grew up in those environments, that have come out of those environments, are not looking to impress people back in them environments. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's not, you don't leave the hood to come back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the hood is not where you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
and there's a lot of
And the
guys.
only reason it is hood is because it's like there's not the opportunities and there's not the access to those things typically that you can get outside of the hood. So when you have access to those things, like, bro, like, it's not cool, Ja. It's not cool.
No.
There's nothing cool about what you're doing, bro.
It makes
know
you
what I'm
think,
saying?
like, it makes you think, like, what are you, like, what's the real message here? Like, is he trying to, who are you trying to impress? But, like, but I also think, like, he knows he's not impressing the right people with this. Like, is it an intimidation thing? To me, it makes me feel like, what are you so insecure about that this is your front? And the downside of it is when you're in this position, you have exposure, things that you can benefit from, right? You get a Nike contract because you got exposure.
Yeah.
You don't want to use that same exposure that can get you into the right doors to get you behind bars or get into a situation where you can get into trouble.
And again, and there's a ton of people that are trying to write Ja off and like, they kick him out the league. And
I'm not one of those.
He's a
people.
23-year-old kid.
He's 23 years old.
Kid.
Yeah.
He has made some mistakes.
Just like Justin Bieber when he was making his bonehead mistakes as a young kid, or just like any other young kid that's making bonehead mistakes. Like, there's a growing pain, and the thing about being a young athlete is your growing pains take place on Front Street.
In front of
we
everybody.
can all see it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to have the right people around you to at least keep you from going on Instagram Live if you're going to flash your gun, but just don't do it on Instagram Live, John.
Shut that down.
Like, do it like in a secure place, have fun,
And that,
learn how to do it, man.
and that lets me know that Jai is a very inexperienced gun owner.
Yeah.
He just got guns when he got the money to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
He didn't, because if he had grew up around guns like I did,
He wouldn't be.
you wouldn't be flashing a gun.
It's just like martial arts. You learn how to fight so that you don't have to fight.
Yep.
Right?
Because the first thing you learn in martial arts is try not to fight.
Exactly.
That's one of the first things in martial art. You know how to fight, but learn how to defuse the situation where you don't have to use your martial arts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, like, it's nothing cool about that.
And he's not in
like,
it.
whatsoever.
And then he's not impressing intelligent people, and he's not impressing gangsters.
Yeah.
Because the gangsters already know that he ain't
You're
no
not one of
gangster.
us.
Because if you was a gangster, you wouldn't be in the NBA. You know,
Period.
and this guy's from way worse than who I don't even know where Jai from. But you got guys in the NBA from Compton and Long Beach.
Not doing that.
Yeah, not doing that.
Yeah.
Because you know what they did? They left the hood and they didn't take nobody with them. They left it where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a part of who they are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a foundation for them, but man, gotta leave that alone. Come on, Josh.
I saw his statement that he just put out for the second. I guess it's the second statement that was like, I know my words don't mean anything, and I got some responsibility here.
Correct.
Sure, but I hope I don't want to see him get kicked out. I don't.
No.
No, I don't either.
I think if you don't implement the proper repercussions for this, see them through, and then make sure he does the digging, like the deep digging internally to figure out why we feel like we need to do this, or the fact that we made a mistake, got to move on, and then made the mistake again.
And he may
That's not cool.
This sounds real horrible, but he may have to separate from his parents because they're not a good influence either.
Man.
No,
I
that's
don't know.
sad.
I
I mean,
don't know.
that's sad to say.
What I see Ja Morant ending up in Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I see Ja Morant because he's in Memphis is not the best environment for him to get away from this lifestyle he's trying to portray. Because he's not living that lifestyle.
No, he's not.
But he's
living.
definitely portraying that lifestyle. And Memphis is not the best place for him to be right now. I can see the NBA moving him to another city. Maybe Utah. Maybe Denver.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Toronto. Somewhere far away from that. And he's got to get out of that environment. And I'm a Ja Morant fan. The guy is incredible. He's an incredible talent. A generational talent at that. And, man, just clean it up, man.
Because this is what a lot of people don't know. When you go to the league, in any league, they give you a list of people that you need to stay away from.
Yeah.
And this is somebody I know, and I know what I'm talking about because I know them personally.
Yeah.
Guy went to the NBA. They gave him a list of people to stay away from. His father was on the list.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure.
tough.
Hey, you know, Ja Morant need to get around the other. What's the other? The young guys drafted in L.A. and the other young buckets in Charlotte.
The Ball brothers, yeah.
Ja Morant need to go to the Ball to Mr. Ball, man. That's a pops right there.
LeVar, you ain't doing nothing. LeVar breaking me in.
Ball, yeah. That's a pop.
That's a real daddy. I don't care what you think about it. I bet you neither one of his boys not gonna do nothing
like
stupid.
Yes.
Not like that.
Yeah, man.
They might shoot too much, but they're not gonna do nothing stupid because he's a real father.
And then Doc Rivers was canned. He's in a trash can. He's not trash.
Did you make this? It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
So he's canned. He's trying to figure out what's going on, like Oscar Grouch. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, what do y'all think about that firing? A lot of people are saying that the Sixers have chosen James Harden over Joel Embiid because of this decision to fire Doc Rivers.
Well, I would say they chose both of them because when I watched that game, the fourth quarter of the game the other night, I saw a lot of players giving lack of effort.
Yeah.
I saw Joel Embiid. Doc Rivers can't coach effort and want to and willpower.
Yeah.
I saw Joel Embiid. I saw Jason Tatum shoot, I think, 2 or 3 3-pointers over Joel Embiid. He didn't close out.
How's that possible?
He did because Joel Embiid didn't close out.
Yeah.
He didn't extend his arm. His arm was barely above his head.
Wow.
Jason Tatum. So you know, Doc has coached some very talented players.
Yeah.
But Doc has coached people that, to me, your best ability is availability. I'm trying to clean this up.
Yeah.
Your best ability is availability. Doc has coached a couple of players that are never there when you need them the most. Chris Paul and James Harden. And now Joel Embiid is going down that same road.
Yeah.
When you need them, well, Joel Embiid wasn't hurt, but I'm talking about the effort.
Yeah, no,
He needed the effort from him.
My nickname for Joel Embiid is Hollow Man.
Yeah.
And then also, James Harden is the most overrated player in the league to me. So
Exactly.
and he has been for a long time, right? They made rules to take away what he was great at, and that was getting fouls called and shots he wasn't even trying to make. He was just throwing them up.
So, yeah,
off the
just
lane.
throwing the ball up.
So what's 0 times 0?
0.
Okay, so that's what you're going to get when you get James Harden and Joel Embiid on the same team. You're going to get a big goose egg, and I think Doc Rivers was the fall guy. That's my opinion. It's not a fact, but it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Is anybody talking about where he'll go next?
Doc Rivers? I don't think he'll get a job next. Unless he ends up in Phoenix. And I only say that because he's worked with Chris Paul before. I don't know how their relationship was. I think it was shaky.
It was shaky in the end.
Yeah, but they won together. They won a lot of games together.
Yeah, they won a lot of games until they got in a 7-game series and they lost every one.
Yeah.
They just not because
I don't think Doc is a good in-game coach. I don't think he's a good guy. He's not the guy that's gonna make adjustments, draw up a play on the whiteboard and get 3 points out of a timeout. That's not Doc Rivers to me. I haven't seen that. And I don't
probably not.
I see Doc Rivers
as
ESPN.
a player's coach.
I see him as an analyst with Shaq and Barkley.
Can you do a good impersonation? Can you give us a good Doc Rivers?
Doc. That's more Phil Jackson.
And Doc Rivers need to coach players. Doc Rivers can coach players like KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. Because they got a lot of want to.
Yeah.
They want to themselves.
Guys that have that desire.
Yeah, have their own desire.
Yeah.
I can tell you what to do. But I can't tell you.
I can't make you do it.
I can't make you go give it 100% when you're doing it. That's up to you.
Yep. But that's the difference between the players in 2023 versus 2010 even.
Yeah, because the players are now, and you can't blame them, they playing for money, not for championships.
Mm-hmm.
So when they mention championships to these players now, they probably go home and laugh and say, man, I'm finna sign a $280 million contract. What are you talking about, a championship?
Yep.
Because now I'm finna create some generational wealth. You talking about a ring that's worth...
I can go pawn that for $500.
Yeah, so...
Maybe at a good pawn shop.
And the biggest example of that to me right now is Ben Simmons.
Oh,
Ben Simmons is playing strictly for money. He has no pride. He has no want to. He has nothing but...
I don't know anybody that respects Ben Simmons at this point. I saw Dwight Howard saying he needs to go over to Taiwan. Did y'all see that post?
Yeah.
Dwight Howard called out
he called out a couple of them. Need to come on over to Taiwan where he at.
Oh, man.
That was great.
Yeah, that was
great. That was great. So moving on. Oh, that's the last topic right there, baby.
That's the last topic?
That's the show, yo.
Oh, that's the show.
Well,
I'm saying.
I am too. It's been a good one, man.
I thought before we left the NBA talk, I have a new passion for old baseball, football, and basketball cards. So I thought we would all rip a pack.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you basketball because I feel like
you. All right.
So these have never been never been opened. So I wanted to see if I got a 92. You're 92. What year are you over there?
Yeah, I'm 92 over here as well.
So I thought we would see what's in there.
This is
and if you got something good, we get to split the profits.
Yeah.
Let's say,
let's see what we got going on. Don't bend it up now.
No. I want to see who. You know, back in the day, we used to get bubble gum in these.
Yeah, I know.
Cheap.
That's that Don Russ. That Don Russ treatment. That bubble gum was hard than a mug, too, boy.
And old.
And break your tooth. I got a Rangers. Dusty. I got Gary Pettis.
Oh, Gary Pettis. Oh, I have his number in my phone.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a coach.
That's a good one for you. Rangers. Oh, wait. Let's tell me let's just go through, see if you got anything good.
Let's see. That first one was pretty good. Ooh, Hall of Famer. We got Jimmy Johnson.
Nice.
I got a Jimmy Johnson. Coach Jimmy Johnson, Dallas Cowboys. How you doing? This is awesome.
See.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome.
Angels. I'm looking for some more Rangers.
I got a Dale Ellis. I got a John Starks, who dunked on Michael Jordan.
I got a Yankees.
Oh, come on now. Ooh, Alexander Wright. I haven't heard that name since the Super Bowl years. Actually, he was before. He was actually part of the 0-15 team.
Hersey Hawkins, okay.
Willie Wilson. Athletics.
Oh, Terry Porter.
Terry Porter, that guy was good with the Trailblazers.
You think so?
I thought so.
I'm gonna say okay.
It was good for him. He got to face Jordan.
Yeah.
Unc, you got any other good ones over there? What you got?
Ooh.
I got Akeem Olajuwon.
Ooh, this one might be worth something.
Okay.
Sherman Douglas.
This guy even played.
I got a Steve Kerr.
I got a
Magic Johnson.
I got a Ronnie Lott. You got Magic Johnson and Steve Kerr over there?
Yeah.
Don't play with him.
A Ronnie Lott.
Hold on now. You just trumped me right now.
Yeah. Go back to that.
Steve Kerr and Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
On the same?
No, different. The different card.
Oh, yeah.
I got a Steve Kerr.
Nice.
Got a Magic Johnson. A John Starks.
Okay.
Wow, John Starks. I got a Ronnie
Derek Harper.
Raiders card.
That's a Dale Ellis.
Look at you.
Ronnie Lott Raiders.
You're going to buy us lunch with your cards.
Ronnie Lott is one of the better defensive backs of all time. You know, that's when guys played for. You know, Ronnie Lott cut the tip of his finger off so he could go back in the game.
Yeah.
They said.
We tell that story.
Well, he was playing in the game, and the tip of his finger got ripped so bad. They said we can take it to the hospital and sew it up, or we can cut it off and you can go back in the game. He said, cut it off, taped it up, and went back in the game.
That is a dog.
That's what you call it. See, now you couldn't get I don't know one athlete in the whole world in any sport would do that. They would be like, nah, man, I got to sign that $200 million contract.
Yeah.
So we going to the hospital. So
what are the odds? We got it's a Jim Jensen card, but it has a picture of Mark Clayton
Oh.
Miami Dolphins Mark Clayton, no relation.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what?
I assumed Mark Clayton was his dad, but it's not.
Wow.
You know. So I'll tell you about Mark here in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, man,
You got some good ones.
Yeah, those are my.
Don't
those are
hold
my-
out on us with the Steve Kerr over here magic.
Magic Johnson. I got a
Terry
Sam
Porter,
Jordan.
I got a Hersey Hawkins, I got a Dale Ellis, a Derek Harper, John Starks.
Oh, Derek Harper?
Yes,
He's still
sir.
commentating for the
Derek
Mavericks.
Harper, who dribbled out the clock on the Lakers.
Was that a loss? That was a loss, wasn't it? They
yeah.
lost that game?
Yeah. He thought they was ahead, but they wasn't, and he dribbled out the clock.
Hilarious, man.
Yeah.
This should be
but
a
Harper
tradition.
was a good player.
You should
I like
open a
Harper.
pack on every game. I mean, every show.
That's
It's a fun.
that-
When I'm
I
feeling bored,
love
I'll just
that.
be like, "Hey, I have 50,000 more cards, so I'll bring some back." But I also got you guys
We're
some
going to call that the CY.
some poker
CY.
chips.
Oh.
In venue poker chips.
The micro
Don't
betting
flash them
chips.
at the club though. Be careful with
In
them.
venue poker chips. Hey, you see the poker table right there?
There you go.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like we could be on brand today.
I know it would be. Thank you so much for coming.
Had a blast.
Jonas, like I said, we knew you were nervous,
Feels a little
but
convenient to me
you
that
didn't show up, and I see why. She's on point, man. It's been a pleasure having
So
you. Thank
fun.
you so much for coming.
and
today.
great to meet you. I'm happy
It's
to
nice
happy
meet
to have you here
CY.
too.
Yeah.
You are very knowledgeable about sports, more than most people.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll
yeah,
take
this
it.
has
Better
been
than
great.
average. I'll take it.
It's been, I hope you all have enjoyed it, man. Great show. Newness, baby. This is how we like it, baby. Never on time, but always on time. And we'll see y'all sometime.